We make our happiness dependent upon what we can control. The reason why you're tired and defeated is because you are under a secular banner. You're under a banner that God never said was His. Why can't I put one step in front of the other and overcome this depression, overcome this discouragement, overcome all of this stuff? Why can't I do it? It's because you refuse to get out from under a secular banner. Life under the banner of negativity. Oh man, negativity will kill your witness. Negativity will kill your witness. It really will. Negativity will kill your witness faster than anything. Because why in the world would somebody want to associate with a Christian who has no hope? Why would somebody want to associate with a Christian who does not know how to smile? Who does not carry the joy of the Lord that is unspeakable and full of glory? Why would you want to associate? Why would you want to go to church with somebody like that? I cannot stand negative people. I really can't. I cannot stand to be around. They make me sick. I run from them. I'm like, nah, peace out, deuces. I rebuke that stuff in the name of Jesus double time. Amen. I run from negative people. I do not like negative people. And here's the reason why. It's because negativity is very contagious if you stay around it long enough. It's very contagious if you stay around it long enough. And negativity is a poison. It's a poison that does not belong in the heart of a child of God, and it does not belong in this church. It does not belong in this ministry. It does not belong here. People complain about things that they know nothing about. They know nothing about. And then they blast it on Facebook thinking they look intelligent, thinking they're going to get a following, when really they only appear ignorant. Matter of fact, they ain't even ignorant, they're ignorant. They too dumb to be ignorant. Ignorant. They didn't quite make it all the way. So we blast it on Facebook. We put people down on Facebook. We put people down on Facebook, and we tear people apart with this machete mouth and our machete thumbs, thinking that we got to prove a point. But the only thing you are proving is that you are under the banner of negativity. There is no room for that in this ministry, and I will rebuke it the moment I see it, and that's why I'm preaching this message. You either going to come in here with a smile on your face worshiping Jesus and encouraging folk, or we going to do it to you. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. It has no place in ministry, guys. How many times do we wake up angry, though? How many times do we wake up angry? How many times do we wake up like we got a pine cone shoved up someplace and we can't even see straight? How many times do we wake up angry? We wake up with the purpose of anger. We think that our anger is warranted because we think that our anger has a purpose. I have a right to be angry. I'm 35 and still single. No, you need to be praising Jesus. No, I'm just playing. No. I'll get off that. We wake up with the idea that we have to carry anger into the workplace. That's why it ain't fun to go to work. That's why you don't like nobody. And more importantly, that's why nobody like you. Nobody want to be around that. Negativity, we navigate our lives under the banner of negativity. We navigate our lives under the banner of anger, and we expect a blessing. We expect God to show up. We expect God to move. We expect a miracle. You cannot be expecting a miracle of God if you ain't living under Him. See, so many times we want God to move in our lives, but God wants you to move out from under negativity. He wants you to move out from under anger. He wants you to move out from under these banners. Now, you got negativity. Everybody say negativity. You got anger. And they all connect to one thing. Life under secular banners, first of all, the banner of anger will shorten your lifespan. But the reason you're angry is because you have no control in your life. Life under the banner of control. The banner of negativity and anger are connected to this thing. We make our happiness dependent upon what we can control because we see the source of control as validation. We think that we are validated and we have a purpose and we have a destiny based on what we control. We promote ourselves based on what we control. So if we feel out of control, our number one default emotion is anger. We become angry, we become negative, we become bitter, and we start to put down the very people God has placed in our lives that we should be loving and ministering into. If we would invest half the energy that we do in trying to be mad on living under the banner of Christ, if we would spend half of our energy doing that, can you imagine the revival that would take place in your marriage? Can you imagine the revival that would take place in your kids' lives? Can you imagine the revival that would take place in your life? If you would get out from under anger, get out from under negativity, get out from being grumpy all the time because you ain't getting your way, get out from the control. You are a control freak, and that's why your life is in chaos, because you are trying to hold on to something that is reserved for God. It was not ever designed to be reserved for you, but you keep grabbing it and pulling it back, and it keeps crumbling in your hands, and that is the reason you have no control. The reason you have no control is because you are designed to hold on to this thing, baby. So you have the banner of negativity, you have the banner of anger, and you have the banner of control, but all of them are connected to sight. To sight. Everybody say sight. Look at your neighbor and say, I see you. I see you. I see you. I got vision. It might be blurry, it might be ugly, but I see you anyway. Life under the banner of sight. Life under the banner of sight. You see, a lot of people think that doubt is the opposite of faith. Doubt is not the opposite of faith. Sight is the opposite of faith. And the reason sight is the opposite of faith is because of 2 Corinthians 5:7. It says, for we walk by faith, not by sight. Hebrews 11:1, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The evidence of things that you cannot visibly comprehend. That is what faith is. Faith and sight are the repellent to one another. They repel each other because they are opposites to one another. My question for you is, are you so busy and so consumed with the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life that you are navigating your life through sight, that you are missing the idea and the lifestyle of living your life under faith? So many times we live under the banner of sight and we don't even realize it. You're mad and you don't even realize it. Oh, that's a big one. That's a whole different sermon, y'all. You're mad and you don't even realize it. You're negative and you don't even realize it. If you want to look at something, look at your Facebook feed. Look at that. What do you post? Do you post things that are going to encourage people, things that help people, or do you post things that tear people down, that tear your church down, that tear you down? What are you putting on Facebook? Because I promise you, what is either coming out of your mouth or the power of your thumbs is revealing the banner at which you live under. The banner you live under doesn't just impact you. It doesn't just impact you. A lot of times we think, oh, well, it doesn't matter. My actions and my words and my responses don't impact other people. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They hurt people or they help people. That's your option. My next point says the weight of his banner is not to be lifted alone. The weight of his banner is not to be lifted alone. Exodus 17:12. When Moses' hands grew weary, grew heavy, they took a stone and they put it under him. You got to have the rock as your foundation, baby. And then he sat down on it. Then Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained steady until the sun went down. The weight of his banner, capital H, meaning God, Jehovah Nissi, the weight of his banner is not meant to be lifted alone. In other words, there are going to come times in your life when you don't want to pray. There are going to become times in your life where you don't want to go to church. There are going to become times in your life where you are too weary and too defeated and too exhausted to simply say, God, I need your help. There are times in life when that happens. There are times in life when that happens. Lifting up the banner of the Lord is not easy. It is not easy. And away with this ideology that says the moment you become a Christian, if you name it and claim it, it's yours. Last time I checked, being a child of God in a secular world is hard. It's hard to be a Christian. It's hard to love people like Christ. It's hard to forgive. It's hard to have joy. It's hard to encourage people. It's hard to minister. It's hard to go out of your way and share love with somebody that you can't stand. It is hard to do that, church. It is hard to be a Christian. It is hard to hold on to your moral value when everybody in the workplace isn't. It is hard to be a Christian. It is hard to be a Christian. And the weight of being a child of God is not meant to be lifted alone. How do I know? It says, to lift up Jehovah Nissi, you must let go of secular banners. To lift him up, you got to let go of some things. There's 4 things you got to let go of. You've already written them down. You got to let go of your negativity. You got to let it go. I know you don't want to. And the reason you don't want to is because you're prideful. You got to let go of anger. I know you don't want to let go of anger because you want people to validate how you feel. You want people to hear you, or you want people to hear you so long that they just automatically agree with you about something, even if you're wrong. So you remain in a state of anger. You need to let go of control. The reason you have no communication with people is because you try to control the environment. The reason you can't talk to your wife or your husband is because both of y'all are battling for control. I'll go deeper than that. The reason you feel like God isn't talking to you is because you are trying to control that which belongs to Him. To lift up Jehovah Nissi, the Lord is my banner, you have to let go of some things. Quit wasting time in that. We try to fight pointless fights all the time because we're negative, because we're angry, because we want control, because we have this pride thing and we walk by sight. We are always trying to fight in the valley. When God says, hey, if you'll just walk up a little bit, if you'll just come up here to this altar and you will get under the banner of God, you get under the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, you get under His power, you will access heaven's power to heal earth's problems. If you're willing to get out from under some stuff, if you're willing to let some things go. I am not holy enough to be mad. I'm not. I'm not holy enough to be angry. I'm not holy enough to be negative about things. I'm not holy enough to control things. I'm not. I am redeemed enough to walk by faith and not by sight. That's what I am. That's what the simple part to this message is this. If you're under a banner that's not of God, stop. You can do that. You have got to get under Jehovah Nissi.